Every country on Earth is drowning in debt. The United States owes over $38 trillion. The European Union around $14 trillion. Japan nearly $9 trillion. Even oil-rich nations and export giants like Germany and China carry massive obligations. But here's the paradox. If everyone owes money, who is actually owed? Debt isn't just a burden. It's the framework of the modern world. Every war, crisis, boom, and collapse sits on a foundation of invisible promises, and when you follow those promises far enough, you find something unsettling. The world mostly owes money to itself, but the benefits of that loop are far from equal. To understand how we got here, we need to go back centuries to 1694. England was at war with France and running out of gold. Merchants stepped in, financing the crown, in exchange for future interest payments. To manage this, the Bank of England was created. This was the birth of the government bond, the seed of the modern financial system. From there, nations worldwide adopted the model. The ability to borrow became the ability to rule. Empires once conquered gold, now they issued bonds. 3 centuries later, debt has become the world's most powerful export. Global borrowing rises by $1 trillion every 100 days. Every citizen, bank, and government is both debtor and creditor. But who holds the other end of the rope? In the U.S., about half of the $38 trillion is owed to investors. 2/3 of those investors are American institutions, banks, pension funds, mutual funds, and the Federal Reserve. Only a small portion is held by foreign nations like Japan and China. So when people say America is in debt to China, that's true, but only for about 2% of the total. The U.S. mostly owes money to itself, in a circular system where taxes fund interest that flows back into American assets. And this circularity is global. Japan lends to the U.S. lends to Europe. Europe lends to developing nations. Developing nations lend back by buying Western bonds. It's a worldwide loop of IOUs, a financial hot potato made of promises. But the most powerful force isn't any single nation. It's the markets, hedge funds, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and central banks managing tens of trillions. They decide who can borrow cheaply and who will pay a premium. When they lose confidence, currencies crash, governments fall, and entire economies are reshaped. Democracy may decide who governs, but markets decide who survives. And at the center of this system stand the central banks. They don't just manage debt, they manufacture it. When the Federal Reserve or European Central Bank buys bonds, new money is created. Every dollar in existence represents debt somewhere else. There is no such thing as debt-free money. This system survives on confidence alone. When confidence breaks, the illusion shatters. Greece in 2010, Argentina's repeated defaults, Sri Lanka's collapse. Each event revealed the same truth. When the machine fails, creditors suddenly gain faces. The IMF rating agencies, anonymous bondholders deciding the fate of nations. Yet even after collapse, the cycle restarts. Old debts are rolled over, new loans issued, because modern governments don't plan to repay their debt ever. They refinance it endlessly. Interest is the real product. Debt functions like a subscription model for entire nations, and investors prefer it this way. Government bonds are the foundation of global finance, held as collateral, treated almost like money. If governments actually paid off their debt, the world would lose its most trusted asset. Liquidity would vanish, markets would implode, so governments do the opposite. They issue more. Debt becomes the heartbeat of capitalism, pulsing through every pension, mortgage, and investment on Earth. When politicians promise to pay down the national debt, they're selling an illusion. The goal isn't repayment, it's perpetual belief. But belief isn't evenly distributed. Interest payments flow upward, from workers and taxpayers to institutions and investors. Debt isn't just a transfer between nations, it's a transfer between classes. Global inequality rises alongside global indebtedness because the system rewards those who own debt and burdens those who service it. The modern financial system has blurred the line between debtor and creditor. Governments issue debt. Banks multiply it. Investors trade it. Citizens depend on it. Debt once meant bondage. Today it means balance. But if confidence ever breaks, we'll remember what debt really is, a promise that cannot be kept forever. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History has the answers. I'll show you where to look.